We will call the matter of August Millsap. I have received a number of reports, including the Wellspring Court Report dated July 15th, the Case Service Plan dated July 1st, Parent Agency Treatment Plan dated July 1st, Monthly Progress Report from Bear River Health regarding Angel Quinn Kuznicki dated June 26th, letter from Joy Valley Counseling with appointment information for August dated June 25th, a letter from Joy Valley Counseling with appointment information for Angel dated June 25th, Posen School IEP Progress Report dated 4/10, forensic fluid drug screen results for Angel for 5/14, and anger management worksheet completed by Allen dated April 29th. Mr. Sommerfeld, is there any other documentation that I should be aware of?
No, Judge.
I would, any objection to the court considering all that information?
No objection.
No objection.
No
All right,
objection.
hearing no objection, the court will deem those admitted. Mr. Sommerfeld, do you have a witness for me to hear today?
Yes, I'd like to call Kelly Hughes, please.
Ms. Hughes, would you raise your right hand so I can swear you in? You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, please state your full name for the record.
Kelly Hughes.
Mr. Sommerfeld, go ahead.
Thank you. Ms. Hughes, how are you employed?
I'm a foster care caseworker with Wellspring Lutheran Services.
Are you familiar with August Millsap,
I am.
and how so?
I'm the foster care case manager for the family.
Okay, and are you providing services to both parents? Both parents?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let's start with Dad. Is he still in Department of Corrections?
He is. He's actually in Parental Correctional Facility at this time.
Okay, is he like learning a trade there? Is that why they moved him?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, and about his earliest release date is it 2026 or 2028?
2027, I believe it is.
Okay, and what kind of services do you provide him while he is incarcerated?
So while he is incarcerated, I have been providing him with worksheets regarding anger management, regarding substance use, and regarding parenting skills at this time. That is about what I am able to offer at this point in time with him being incarcerated.
Okay, is he completing those assignments?
He is, yes.
Okay, and the report indicates you did send August a birthday card this year?
He did. He sent a birthday card and he sent a handwritten letter as well.
Okay, is August receptive to those, the letter and the birthday card? Was she receptive?
No, she was not.
Okay, did she state any reason for that?
She stated she had no interest in receiving any information from that side of the family.
Okay, how is August doing in foster placement?
So August is doing well in her foster placement. She is really enjoying the fact that they have a lot of new babies on the farm. And she's helping with that. She's helping with doing some gardening. She has actually developed her own garden, growing from seeds and taking like half of the vegetable and planting the vegetable and watching it grow. And she's very proud of that. She shows it to me every time I go to see her. Overall, she's doing really well at the foster home. Her needs are being met at the foster home where she's currently residing.
She's still under mental health treatment?
She is. She went back to seeing Teresa Gibson. She had requested to try to do a therapist at the school. That proved to be very problematic for August. That was determined to be the case very quickly. That was not going to be what was in August's best interest. And when I spoke with Teresa Gibson, she reported that the downward spiral that August has had with her mental stability just due to that minor adjustment that August actually requested has been astronomical.
Okay, what kind of reaction are you talking about?
So according to Teresa Gibson, she had stated to me when I spoke with her that she has almost had to go back to the very bare bone basics is what was reported, working with her at the very early stages, like completely rebuilding the rapport, completely going right back to the starting point, basically. So she has lost a lot of groundwork that she had been making.
Okay. Has August indicated anything to you regarding a desire to see both of her parents?
August does not wish to see either of her parents. In fact, her exact statement to me was that she just wants this shit to be done. That was her comment to me.
Okay. And she's 12 years old.
That's correct.
All right. Let's talk about mom. Angel Quinn Kuznicki. Is she participating in services?
So Angel reported that she had re-engaged with Bear River Health for both mental health services as well as substance use services. I did speak with the Bear River Health regarding that. She had signed a release for me to do so. They did confirm that she had re-engaged with mental health services with a therapist there who she was working on past trauma, substance use, and mental health services. They said that she was very strong in her attendance in the month of, I believe it was March, but she does not have anything scheduled. And since that real strong month, it has been really sporadic. And at this point in time, there is no scheduled appointments.
Okay, so when I look at the parent agency treatment plan, all of the need domains are marked as poor. In the way the parent agency treatment plan is set up, it is in regards to both parents. They're not separated. Can you explain why is there a rating of poor under the need domain of substance abuse?
So substance abuse is marked as the need domain substance use is marked as poor because Angel had reported that she was engaging with Bear River's MAT program or medically assisted treatment. That information has not been able to be verified. When I called to verify that information, it was noted to me that they were not able to verify, confirming or denying that the information was accurate as there was no releases signed on their end. She had reported that she was taking Zubzol, which is a form of buprenorphine or Suboxone for the medication treatment. But again, that information has not been able to be verified. So based on the fact that I was unable to verify any of that information, that is why the needs domain was marked as poor.
Okay. And that also includes dad. Why? Give us the reasons why he was also rated as poor.
In the substance use domain?
Yes, I'm sorry.
So dad's actually would not be marked as poor in the substance use domain for him. He has had no reports of any substance use incidences or issues at the at Parental Correctional Facility during this reporting period. He also reports that he is engaging in AA and NA meetings, and that was able to be confirmed. So his would not be marked as poor, his would be marked as partial.
Okay, I wanted to clarify that. So the next need domain is substance abuse. Again, that is marked poor. Please start with mom and tell us why, and then you can transition to dad.
Okay, so I just want to clarify because I thought I was just speaking about substance use and then you said substance use again.
I'm sorry, sexual abuse.
Okay, so sexual abuse would be poor for more so for dad at this point. It is also marked as poor for mom because neither one of them are really showing any growth in working through or helping to support the allegations that are against Allen at this point.
Okay, so can you like specify that a little bit more? I mean, what are they not acknowledging something?
Yes, neither one of them acknowledged that the incidences that are being alleged happened. They're both, they're asking questions like, why would she say something like that? That never happened. I would never do that.
Okay, and so, and this is in relation to August has made allegations against her father regarding sexual abuse.
That is correct.
Okay. Now, according to the reports that the criminal case into Dad is still open, but it's not really moving forward. Do I got that right?
That is correct.
Okay, any updates on that front that you know of?
I have attempted to reach out to Officer Benzing, and I'm just being told that right now it is still an open investigation, but there is no progress at this point.
Okay. And it does say that Dad completed a polygraph test. Is that true?
That is correct.
Okay. Emotional stability behavior, that need domain, that is also marked as poor. Can you explain it as it relates the poor rating as to both mom and dad again?
As to mom, it was marked as poor due to the fact of, yes, though she did engage, it was very brief. And she is currently not got any type of appointments scheduled per the last report I had. And as to dad's actually would be listed as substantial. He actually has just recently been decreased in the amount of time that he is seeing a mental health service provider to every 3 months, I believe it is. Because it has been reported that his depression that he was experiencing has been stabilized and he no longer requires his medications. So at this point in time, from court or from Parental, they feel like his mental health is stable at this point.
Okay. As far as parenting skills go, same question. The progress evaluation is rated poor. Can you explain how that relates to both parents?
So as far as mom goes, mom has not engaged in any parenting courses. She has not participated in any type of parenting courses during this reporting period. As far as dad goes, dad has been working on completing some parenting course or parenting reports and paperwork that I have sent to him. So his would be marked as partial.
Okay. And the last one, which is not rated, has to do with child characteristics. Is that really just about August and how her parents are relating to August's emotional needs?
That is correct.
Okay. Why is that one not rated? I know there's an explanation in the description. Can you just give us some information on that?
So as far as that one goes, that one rolled over from the previous report within the PATP period. So that was a child needs domain prior. That's why it's not showing a rating this particular time. As far as the rating goes, it would still be likely a poor rating due to the fact of her emotional stability continues to be a barrier for her. The fact of her not knowing what her permanency plan continues to be an issue for her. And the fact of just, not wanting a relationship and the stress that is creating on her. So those barriers that are to that need domain remain the same.
Now, August has made statements in the past about that she wished to be adopted. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, I am.
And is she still of the belief that she wishes her parents would just let her get adopted?
Yes, she is. Actually, even as early as yesterday, she was sending some text messages back and forth to me, where her chickens had babies. And she said, I said, you always love your animals. She said, yes, I do. She says, at least I'm able to show love because my parents don't show love to me. And hopefully one day I won't have to work with you either, because hopefully in the near future, I'll be able to be adopted.
So what, oh, I wanted to talk about one more thing. It looks like August, met with Tim Strauss, the psychological evaluator yesterday.
Yes, that is correct. She did meet with Tim Strauss yesterday. And Angel was scheduled for this following Monday or this upcoming Monday on the 28th, but that has been rescheduled till August the 5th.
Okay. What was the nature of, August's, appointment with Tim Strauss? What is it for?
So that is to reevaluate her mental status at this point, and if it is a possibility that we can still continue forward and how it would impact her with the length of period of time she's been separated from her parents, as well as what her emotional stability can handle moving towards a goal of reunification, and whether or not that would be what is in her best interest, or if it would be in her best interest to move towards the goal of an adoption.
Okay, and that would only be in relation to how August relates with mom and not dad.
That is correct.
Okay. So will we have this information for the next review period to present to the court?
Yes, we should have. They said it would take about 6 weeks to get it back.
All right. So what is, you're asking to, you would like August to remain where she is in, licensed unrelated foster care?
That is correct.
Okay. And then at this time, parenting time between August and Angel is still suspended?
That is correct.
And what is the reason for that suspension? I know it's been suspended for quite some time. Do those conditions still exist? And,
They, sorry.
no,
Yes, they do. The conditions that warranted the suspension to begin with continue to be there.
okay. And that's really, based upon August and her mental health and how she relates to her mom.
That is correct.
Okay. Wasn't the previous information from Tim Strauss, the earlier evaluation, he had concluded that it would really, be really harmful to August, her emotional health, if she were to have a reconnection with her mom?
That is correct. He did state that it would likely cause emotional harm to the point of maybe not recovering.
Okay. So, and then it says you're, maybe you're looking at maybe a goal change at the next review hearing. What would be the basis for that? I mean, is it subject to the psychological evaluations?
Yes, that would be correct. Based on the psychological evaluations and the results of the psychological evaluations, if the results continue to remain where they were prior, where it is going to cause likely significant harm to August to move forward with the goal of reunification, at that point in time, we would ask the courts to give permission to file for termination.
Okay, but right now, we're still asking the court to keep the goal of reunification.
That is correct.
Okay, is there anything else you'd like to offer this afternoon?
Not at this time.
All right, thank you. Nothing further, Judge.
All right. Mr. Brown, questions as to mom?
Thank you, Your
Yeah,
Honor.
Mom?
Yes, I represent mother. Ms. Hughes, you said, I believe, that August was receiving some mental health treatment from a school counselor?
Yes, she was receiving mental health services through a school counselor for about 2.5 weeks or so. And it was determined that August ended up spending more time going down to the counselor's office, was struggling to maintain boundaries, and it was determined that it would be best for her to see a therapist that was not within her school day, because it was creating barriers to her being able to be academically successful.
And who made that determination?
the therapist and the therapist supervisor that she does supervision with.
Now, this case, since it came back into the court, has been going on for about how long?
About 2 years.
Actually, I think I have June of 22. Would it be about 3 years?
Possibly.
What, Judge, objection, I just asked for clarification. When Mr. Brown says when this case came back, what is he referring to? What time?
Remanded.
Okay, thank you.
And so August is 12 years old right now,
That is correct.
and she was 9 years old then when this case first started, correct? First started on remand. That's what I mean whenever I say that.
Okay. I would have to look back at my notes to recall for sure, but if it's been 3 years, then yes.
And in that 3 years, how many times has she seen her parents, or have her parents been allowed to visit with her?
She has not been able to.
So the conditions that you mentioned, that parenting time is suspended because conditions that warranted the suspension are still there. So what warranted the suspension?
August's mental health stability.
Okay, so basically she doesn't want to see them, so she doesn't have to see them, because it's gonna basically ruin her entire life, essentially, because of, I think you put it to emotional harm to the point of not recovering.
Objection argumentative. Is there a question in this statement Mr. Brown's making?
All right, Mr. Brown, I'll let you make your closing argument later.
Okay, Your
Let's
Honor.
ask questions. Thank you.
Okay. Let's go through the what Mr. Sommerfeld went through. You said substance abuse was marked poor because she wasn't able to verify MAT treatment.
Yes, so I was not able to verify her substance use medical assistant treatment because there was not a release that was signed. And that's all they could tell me, is that there was no release signed, so they could not confirm or deny that that information was accurate that Ms. Kiznuki was reporting.
Is she testing?
She is tested for me, and she was tested positive for buprenorphine. But again, I cannot confirm that that prescription is being prescribed by Bear River in which she reports at this time, because there is no release.
Do you remember why this case came about in the very beginning?
Methamphetamine.
Has she ever tested positive for methamphetamine?
Yes, she has.
When?
It's been 2020 January, December or January of either 23 or 24.
So quite some time ago. So that's not even a partial improvement?
Based on this quarter, the last 90 days, because there is no verification, it would remain a poor.
So there's no verification other than she's testing negative, correct?
Yes. Well, she's testing positive for buprenorphine,
Okay,
that I have not
buprenorphine.
been able to confirm of where the prescription is coming from.
Okay, we'll move to the next one. The sexual abuse you had marked as poor because they're not helping to support the allegations of sexual abuse. Is that what I understood?
I don't even necessarily mean support the allegations.
That's what you said. I just wrote down what you said.
Okay, so
Because
I'm
they don't believe,
clarifying.
because they
clarifying.
don't believe that it happened. You're saying that it's poor. Are they, what is she supposed to do? Just say, yes, I believe my husband molested her.
No, she doesn't have to say that.
As a matter of fact, he's never even been charged, has
He has not been charged.
And I believe it was brought out that the case is kind of at a standstill.
That is correct.
Well, they don't have enough to move forward. So why is she marked poor in sexual abuse? Because she may not believe that that happened.
Objection, mischaracterization of prior testimony. It's not that they don't have enough evidence to move forward. That was not brought out in any of the testimony through this witness. That was a mischaracterization by Mr. Brown.
I will rephrase that and withdraw that they don't have enough evidence. The case, it is said that the case is not moving forward, correct?
It is my understanding that the case is at a standstill at this point.
So my
As to
question
the
is,
reason, I have no clue. I have no idea.
but it is a fact he hasn't been charged.
It is a fact that he has not been charged.
So then again, my question is, why is she marked poor? And because she may not believe it happened.
Judge, I want to object here. Is this line of questioning even important that the benchmark of not being criminally charged does not mean that something may or may not have happened?
Your Honor, again, this was direct questioning from Mr. Sommerfeld, and she is marked poor in this category.
Mr. Brown,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to let you ask your question, so that's why I'm cutting you off at this point. It's cross-examination. There was direct examination as to sexual abuse. You get to explore why it's marked poor. That's what you're doing. So please go ahead, Ms. Hughes. Please answer the question as best you can.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Hughes, I'm gonna, let's see. I'm gonna skip down to parenting skills here. Desired outcome. Angel and Allen will work toward repairing their bond with August. That is marked as poor. Could you please explain how they're supposed to work on that when they are not allowed to see their child?
They're supposed to be working on parenting skills to help increase that bond. Or increase their knowledge to be able to meet a bond if and when it is determined to be appropriate for parenting time.
In your mind, as the department, you're handling this case, if they took every parenting class, benefited from the parenting classes, are they going to get to see August?
Based on her mental health and where her mental health is, I'm not the judge, but I would indicate that I don't anticipate that her mental health is going to change enough for that to happen.
And again, we'll just skip down to child characteristics, which you said was marked not applicable, but would likely be marked poor. And the goal is that Angel and Allen will support their daughter to gain her emotional stability. Same question as before, without the ability to ever see or even speak with their child, how are they supposed to do that?
So I would like to correct my testimony on that if I am allowed to do so. I would score Angel as partial on that because she does sign releases that are necessary for August to obtain the necessary medications and or mental health services that are being recommended or referred for August.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any updates as far as Ms. Quinn's residence or employment?
So Ms. Quinn is currently employed at Blarney Castle in Gaylord. She has provided me with a copy of her schedule. She has not provided me with any pay stubs to date, but she did provide me with a schedule with her name on it, with it indicating Blarney Castle. So she does have current employment. As far as housing goes, she has met with me at the Timberley in Gaylord, where she reports that she is residing. However, I have not received any signed leases and or confirming information of the program NEMSCA in which she is working with to help with her rental assistance.
Okay. Where was she residing prior to the Timberland?
She was residing in a camper trailer in Sheboygan.
Would you consider this progress?
I would consider it progress. However, I have not been able to observe and or view the site or the apartment in which she is living in. She's only allowed me at this point to meet with her in the parking lot.
Thank you, Ms. Hughes. I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Delaney, on behalf of Dad.
Thank you. Ms. Hughes, what year were you first assigned to this case?
I would have to look back at history. I know I hired in 2021, so I would believe it would be the end of 2021 or early 2022.
Okay, it's a 2019 case number, and we know that it went to the Court of Appeals and was reversed on the termination issue. Relative to the sexual allegations by August, do your reports indicate when those first arose?
Yes, those were originally brought forward in 2019, and then they were brought forward again because of new disclosures from August at her therapist's office that were brought forward, so that case was reopened.
When was that, the therapist?
I would have to look back at my notes to recall the exact date.
Would that, I don't want to belabor that, would that take long to figure that out?
It probably would, because I would have to go to our hard file and look it up.
Did it come up after the Court of Appeals reversed?
Yes, it did.
So in any event, the allegations are at least 6 years old. The renewed allegations are probably 3 years old, maybe 4.
I don't want to speculate on that question without looking back at the exact date.
All right, but the 6 years you agree with, 2019?
Yes, that was evident that it was 2019 when the initial allegations were reported.
Mr. Sommerfeld, in his direct, asked you about a polygraph. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Do you know the reason that was brought up? His question.
I do not.
But Mr. Millsap took a polygraph?
He did take a polygraph test.
All right, which, as you may know, is not admissible in court.
I am not aware of that.
What do you know about what do you know about the polygraph since it was brought up?
I just
Mr.
know that
Delaney?
he took it.
Mr. Delaney, hang on. Whoa, wait a minute. We're not going there. I'm not considering it one way or the other,
All right.
period.
Thank you, Judge. I didn't know where they were going with that. They just left it open. You know,
I understand the need for the question, but we're not going there. It's not admissible. I'm not considering it.
Allen has steadfastly denied the sexual allegations.
That is correct.
Are you able, and Mr. Brown questioned this a little bit. What does that mean if you know that it's at a standstill, the investigation of the charges?
I don't know what that means.
Final question. Do you know which county has that case? Is it Otsego County?
Yes, it is.
All right. On a positive note, Allen's depression has reduced significantly where he's not even taking medications?
That is correct.
What is his contact with August at this time? Obviously, letter writing seems to be the main source, but can you tell me first the type of contact he's been having?
The contact that he's been having has just been the letter writing or sending a card. He sends that here. I attempt to see if August will accept it. I take it with me to the home visits, and she has yet to, she refuses to accept anything I take.
When was the last time Alan sent written communications to you for August?
May, for her birthday.
Do you know if Alan is going to continue with that, or do you not have information?
I don't have that information.
And you indicated that we recognize he's incarcerated, but certainly drugs find their ways into prisons, that his substance abuse is a positive. There's no instances at the facility where he's been using.
That is correct.
Okay. All right. I have no further questions at this time.
Mr. Baber, before you get started, Ms. Quinn, can I see your face on the video, please? Thank you. All right, Mr. Baber, any questions as a GAL?
Ms. Hughes, in regard to the Tim Strauss and Angela Quinn meeting, that's been rescheduled to August 5th. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Do you know why it was rescheduled to August 5th?
Angel rescheduled her therapy or her psychological evaluation to August 5th because she had reported that she had a conflicting appointment to have some dental work done on the 28th.
Okay, was any information or documentation provided to you showing that she does in fact have a dentist appointment as was represented?
No, there was not.
Okay, has she made any statements to you recently in regards to not doing the evaluation with Mr. Strauss?
The only statement she made to me was that she was not going to cancel her dental appointment, that she would try to see about rescheduling the other one because or the psychological evaluation because she's already done it once.
Okay, so in this particular instance, Ms. Quinn put her dental appointment ahead of a psychological evaluation
Objection, Your Honor.
pertaining to getting custody back of her child.
Okay, hang on,
Objection,
hang on.
Your Honor.
Mr. What's your objection, Mr.
That
Brown?
is very argumentative.
It's the facts.
All right.
I'm just
Well,
summarizing. I'll withdraw my question.
Thank you. Let's move on.
That's it for me, Judge.
All right. Mr. Sommerfeld, any follow-up based on the questions of the other attorneys?
No, I have none, Judge. Thank you.
All right.
Your Honor, I have one follow-up question.
Go ahead.
Ms. Hughes, when was this original psychological eval set?
It was originally set for July the 28th.
And when she rescheduled, was it a couple months down the road, a month down the road, or a week later?
It was yesterday. Or,
No,
or
I mean-
actually, or what do you mean?
She rescheduled it for August 5th, so basically in 1 week from the original date. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Sommerfeld, any other witnesses or evidence that you have?
I have none, Judge.
Mr. Brown, any witnesses or evidence?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Delaney, any witnesses or evidence?
Perhaps. Alan, do you wish to be heard by the court? And I want to indicate the court wants to know the positive things, how you're doing things the court doesn't know, rather than going through some of the things we know that you are protesting. Did you want to testify today?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Millsap, would you raise your right hand so I can swear you in? You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, Mr. Delaney, your witness.
Thank you. Alan, can you, and Judge Hesselink, took the bench in January of this year, so he knows your case, but certainly has not, seen the history. What is your, release date from Parental?
It'd be May 21st of 2027. So 22 months, I believe.
Okay. And if you know, a date certain, or when you get there, you make the request?
The only way I wouldn't be released is if I did something significantly wrong, like fight with somebody or get caught with a weapon or drugs.
The, there's been a number of things that, are in your favor. The depression, the substance abuse, anything that wasn't covered that you want the judge to know. I'm taking these classes, I've improved here. Something the court hasn't heard today.
I guess besides the NA and the AA, I'm also taking a class called Stop and Think. That's twice a week. When it has to do with the mental health thing, I believe I'm only gonna see the counselor one more time and then I don't have to see them at all.
All right, the number's getting better. You know, I've been involved in this case from the beginning, Alan. And now 22 months is, you know, daylight, if you will. Have you begun to make plans for when I get out, I'm gonna move here? I can do this kind of work. Are you getting into that, process?
Yeah, I have a plan. Not that I really need it, but it would be very significant for me is the line clearance class I'm gonna be taking, and then the CDL, which would be a really big help, will be good for me when I start a tree business once I get out, because that's what I was doing before I came to prison was tree work. My plan though, before that is to take kitchen prep and dishwashing job, even if I gotta work 2 jobs, and save that money until probably till I get my taxes back, and then invest all that money into the tree business equipment to get started.
Would you return to, Gaylord or the northern, excuse me, the northern Michigan area?
As of right now, my plans are to go to my sister's in Brooklyn, Michigan, which is Jackson area.
Okay, anything that, I haven't covered on the positive side of things you want the court to know?
Just that I'm doing a lot better. I feel a lot better. 22 months ain't that far away. I'm surprised I'm under 2 years. The only positive things. That's all I'm trying to move towards is positive things. I'm trying to stay away from anything negative. Any people.
Right.
Any of that.
That's exactly right. I have no further questions.
Mr. Sommerfeld, questions?
Thank you. Mr. Millsap, can you hear me okay?
I can.
What was your original sentence? Was it 8 years?
It was 8 to 30 years.
8 to 30. Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Brown, questions?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Baber, questions?
No, Judge, not at this time.
All right. Mr. Delaney, any other witnesses or exhibits?
No, thank you.
All right. Mr. Baber, witnesses or exhibits?
No witnesses, no exhibits.
All right. Closing statements, starting with Mr. Sommerfeld.
Judge, we're still asking to keep the goal of reunification. I think it's notable at this juncture in the case, the only bright spot about progress was for Mr. Millsap, with Ms. Hughes saying that he has substantial progress on substance abuse. However, I don't believe that accounts for the absence of drugs in the prison system, that, it's a controlled environment. Really, the key to substance abuse is when you do have access and then you decide that you don't want to do that. Other than that, we have not heard about a lot of progress. This evaluation that's going on between August, she had her evaluation yesterday. Ms. Quinn is going to have one in a couple weeks. This was an evaluation that was performed by Mr. Strauss before. It is to see if there is the possibility, with due regard to August and her mental state, would she be able to, would there even be a chance that she could reunify with her mother? We will have those results from next time. I don't see a lot of progress here. Sounds like there's releases, there's things that we don't know. We have meetings in parking lots regarding mom rather than going into a home. So it's a lot of the same thing. And I want to address something. Mr. Delaney asked a question and said, well, since this came back because the termination was reversed. Yes, the termination was reversed because previously, when the court took the pleas of both mom and dad, there was insufficient advice of rights. That was the reason. However, the performance of both mom and dad looks very similar to when we did do the first termination the first time as it is today. So the only thing different in our case here since remand is that we had a trial for dad, we had a plea with mom with a proper advice of rights. I'd ask the court to adopt the recommendations. I just think at the next review period, we'll have a lot more information about where this case goes. As Ms. Hughes alluded to in her recommendation section, that based upon what those results are from Mr. Strauss, the department may be looking at something different than it is asking for today.
Thank you. Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think things have significantly changed since this case came back on remand. This was a drug case. This was a meth case. And while I believe that it was testified to that regarding substance abuse marked as poor because they weren't able to verify certain things, and it was brought up there are things we don't know. Well, there are some things we do know. What we do know is she is not testing positive for methamphetamines. That we know. And it is poor, 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 poor. Sexual abuse marked poor because they tend not to necessarily believe it. Like if somebody makes an allegation, you just have to believe it. I think that, well, I'll move on with that. Parenting skills poor because they're not engaged in parenting courses. She couldn't say for sure, but I mean, Ms. Hughes said it's likely, even if they were, it's not going to make a difference. Child characteristics. They can't help their child. They're not allowed to see their child, talk to their child, comfort their child, anything with their child. Personally, I think it's been going on for 3 years. They have been unable to see or talk to August, yet every single review period, Ms. Quinn shows up, has to listen to how much her daughter dislikes her, how much she doesn't want to see her, how much she doesn't want to talk to her, how poor she's doing in everything. She doesn't believe she is. She's got a place now, which was an upgrade. She's employed. But she comes here and suffers through hearing essentially nothing good about her. She shows up here for August and has for the past 3 years. Naturally, we are going to ask for the suspension to be lifted. Other than that, Your Honor, I have nothing further.
Mr. Delaney.
Judge, one of the better hearings for Allen Millsap and the court obviously would not have been a part of his prior cases, but he was much more active and spoke up more, and unfortunately with some negativity. But I think he sees that 22 months now and finally has some daylight on this case and is showing some improvement with how he is doing at the facility. So I hope that he continues that, irrespective of the direction of the case, that he continues to stay focused in that regard. And then just a very brief comment on the Court of Appeals case. I know it's always a sticking point, perhaps, between Mr. Sommerfeld and I. The Michigan Supreme Court, in a case that came out of this jurisdiction, all the probate courts were of the practice to provide certain rights, advice of rights to litigants after jurisdiction. But the Supreme Court made it retroactive, and hundreds of cases across the state had to be set aside, including jurisdiction, because of the plea taking process that the Supreme Court made retroactive. We're through those barriers now, but to the extent it was insufficient, and I argued that case with Amanda Brooker in Lansing. But in any event, Judge, we're certainly past that point, and I hope for Allen's benefit that he continues the path that he's on. It's been a long road for him, but I certainly would want to see him be released in 22 months. And if this case is still active, have a relationship with his daughter. Thank you.
Mr. Baber.
Thank you. Just to bring to the court's attention, I do represent August Millsap, and her desire has remained unchanged. She still wishes this court to continue the no contact order. At this point in time, I feel that the evidence is sufficient to warrant continuing that order. Ultimately, we should hear from Tim Strauss before this court makes any determination in regard to any steps towards reunification and contact. Ms. Quinn had made some progress in regard to her mental health, but then consistency fell off and there was a lack of follow through with that. And again, she hasn't provided the releases in order to prove who her Suboxone prescriber is, and she tested positive for that. So ultimately, without proof that she's getting that from a medical provider, there's a risk that that could be a failed drug test. There's a risk that it could not be as well. But Ms. Quinn is not providing the releases necessary in order to confirm that. She's still being evasive towards her living situation, only meeting Ms. Hughes in the parking lot. Ultimately, I do have concerns too in regards to the test with Mr. Strauss. It's no surprise Ms. Quinn has been vocally advocating against taking a psychological evaluation with Mr. Strauss. My concern is that the August 5th meeting might also be rescheduled, and I'm concerned about that. I do believe that this court should stress that we're here today because we were supposed to have all these reports by this date to review, but unfortunately they haven't been done yet. My concern is if we come back in a few months, we're going to be repeating the same hearing that we've repeated now for the third time. So, Judge, I do ask that you continue the no contact order until we get a little more information from Tim Strauss, and let's see where things are at that point in time. In addition, Judge, there's one aspect of the case I'd like to address after this court issues an order, and it's just pertaining to this court allowing me to continue to participate remotely going forward. But I'd like to address that after this court makes a ruling.
Certainly. All right. Thank you all very much. Appreciate the time and the effort. I am going to adopt the recommendations in general. I think we are in a bit of a holding pattern somewhat until we have the opportunity for Mr. Strauss to weigh in on recommendations, and I'll await those. It is important to the court to hear those things. I think it's important for me to consider August's concerns and then weigh those against the parents' wishes. But I'm going to save that for another day. It's not today's hearing. Let me just say this, the goal right now is and will remain reunification until there's a reason to change it otherwise. And I recognize that the parents have, especially Mr. Millsap, have limited opportunities to address those because Mr. Millsap's abilities to do things on his own is severely limited within the Department of Corrections. However, and I'm saying this to both parents, you need to be doing everything within your power to show the court that you're working as hard as you possibly can towards reunification. If there is something else that you can do, then that is something else that you should be doing. This is not a case of waiting for the department to hand you something and then go ahead and say, okay, I'll do that. If there's a way for you to do it, for you to speed it up, and for you to get more things done, then both of you need to be doing those things. Your daughter is quickly growing up. Your time for being able to have time with her is quickly going away. So I won't spend a lot of time on it, but the court understands some of the limitations that you have, but there is room for better behavior, better work, better attempts from the family and from the parents. So please do that. The court will adopt the recommendation that August remain under the jurisdiction of the court and the care and supervision of DHHS and Wellspring, that August remain with her current license and unrelated foster care home where her needs are being met. The parenting times between August and Angel continue to be suspended. I don't believe there's been sufficient progress on that aspect to grant parenting time at this point. I do believe it would be detrimental to August at this point. Wellspring, Angel and Allen will comply with and benefit from the parent agency treatment plan put together by the department and Wellspring. The court will keep the goal as reunification today, but will consider information from Mr. Strauss and from the court, from Wellspring and DHHS and the parties in regard to whether or not there needs to be any change in the future based on, in part at least, on Mr. Strauss's evaluation. So having said all that, that'll be the order of the court. And Mr. Baber, you had a comment that you wish to make about remote access.
Yeah, Judge, just a history on this. I've been on this case for approximately a year. I think I've actually reached my year anniversary on this case. I agreed to stay on this midway through the year. As this court's aware, I had to remove myself from several other cases, in part due to the fact that I'm be relocating. I was hopeful that we would have had the things done with Mr. Strauss by then, but I do understand that there are certain delays that are unavoidable. My request is that I'd like to continue with this case, but there is some issues in regards to my relocation. Obviously, I'll be living in Florida, and I'm hopeful this court would agree because my client, August, would not be required to be there in person should there be any termination hearing in the future, that this court would allow me to participate in such hearings remotely is my request on this court. I did talk to Colleen Gilo, who kind of runs the contract for this. She didn't have any issues with it. I did my research. It would not be considered practice of law in the state of Florida, and I would be allowed to participate remotely from that state and not be in violation of anything pertaining to my bar licensing. So that's my request on the court.
I have no objection to that, Mr. Baber, if you want to submit a proposed order.
Thank you, Judge.
Anything else from any of the other counsel?
No, Judge.
No, thank
Oh,
you.
you're on.
All right, that'll be the court's order then. Thank you all very much. Appreciate your time. Mom and Dad, keep doing what you need to do. And do the best you possibly can. All right, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Teresa Lauber, Mom.
All right, thank you. I was having a hard time reading what your name was on the device and I couldn't make it out. So thank you for letting me know. All right. Does it appear we have everybody, Mr. Sommerfeld?
It does, Judge. Do we have our guardian ad litem?
Mr. Delaney is here.
Okay, I thought maybe it was Mr. Gilo, but there is no father responded, so it would just be two attorneys and the department.
That's correct. So I think we're good to go there. All right, I have received the Wellspring Court Report dated July 15th, the case service plan dated May 5th, parent agency treatment plan dated May 5th, forensic fluids drug screen results dated May 14th through July 9th, substance use assessment report dated July 15th, personal protection order regarding Tom Jones dated 5/14, foster care juvenile justice action summary dated July 7th, and a bright course lessons dated November 21 of 24 through May 6th of 25. Mr. Sommerfeld, are there any other documents that I should be aware of?
No, that's all then, Judge.
All right, I do have one additional one, a report of the guardian ad litem submitted by Mr. Delaney as well. So I'll add that to the mix. Is there any objection to the court considering those documents?
No objection.
I don't have an objection at this time, Your Honor, but I did not receive those documents.
All right, I will make sure that those get forwarded to you. And if you have any objection based on them, you can put them on the record. Or you can send documentation to everybody to put those on the record. So we'll allow you to do it that way. All right, Mr. Sommerfeld, you have a witness in this case?
Yes, I'd like to call Sarah Wright from Wellspring Lutheran Services.
All right, Ms. Wright, would you raise your right hand so I can swear you in?
Absolutely. Oh, sorry, 1 second.
Can I have you raise your right hand, please? You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
All right, could you state your full name for the record, please?
Sarah Ashley Wright.
All right, Mr. Sommerfeld, go ahead.
Thank you. Miss Wright, how are you employed?
I am the current case manager, foster care case manager for the Lauber case for Wellspring Lutheran Services.
All right, so you're familiar with Storm and John Lauber, the children.
I'm very familiar with them. They were my first case, yes.
Okay. How long have you had this case? I know that you're a new employee. Can you
Yeah, I began working with Wellspring back on March 17th, and they were my first case. So I believe whatever the legalities are, you have to wait a little bit before you can get your first one, but it was within a couple weeks.
Okay. So, and you did author the court report, case service plan, and parent agency treatment plans?
Yes, I did.
And you also did submit the PPO, the forensic fluid drug screens, the Catholic Human Services the substance use assessment report, and bright course parenting classes?
The PPO, I actually attended with her. She was scared and nervous and obviously experiencing domestic issues at home. So I went to the courthouse with her and we filed that together. Everything else, yes, I submitted.
So are you familiar with the history of this case and the reason for removals?
Yes, I am.
So getting the PPO based upon the history of the case and her association with Mr. Jones, that's a positive step, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So I'd like to talk about it. I see that there's been several drug screens positive for cocaine. Are you familiar with that?
I am familiar as to the extent that I gave them, I asked her to perform them. I don't want to say I performed them because we usually hand the device to them to let them do most of the work so that they can see that there's no contamination or anything like that. And I get the results back, so I keep them on file.
Okay, I mean,
so I'm familiar with them.
When you get the results and it's coming back that there's been several instances of cocaine use, about 6 or 7 of them, have you talked to Miss Lauber about that?
Yes, I have. There's some discrepancy on her behalf. She and her lawyer have had a discussion about something I'm not familiar with, some previous company that we no longer use, but there is she has some distrust in the new company that we use. And we had a discussion. We wouldn't be able to pay for it, but if she did have her doubts about those positive results, I confirmed with my supervisor she is more than welcome to pay out of her own pocket with a court-approved third party in addition to taking ours, where they watch you perform a urine sample, and then we can take the two and compare them and see if there is a discrepancy.
Is Ms. Lauber aware that there can be a reconfirmation test if someone disagrees with a drug test result?
I have told her that when they do the results, they automatically test it twice when there's a positive. But that was very early on. When I first got the case, before her last hearing, she was very untrustworthy of our staff and didn't communicate very well, didn't trust us very well. But we have developed quite a rapport since then, and I do believe that she trusts that I have her best interests at heart. She knows that I can't do it for her, but I do want to help her as best I can. And so we do communicate a lot more, and I believe we have had that conversation.
Okay, and you're aware that cocaine use was part of the reason for removal. The kids were using cocaine and so was mom. You're aware of that, right?
Yeah, you'll notice in the court report, I stated that the psychological evaluation, number one, explicitly states that there's no additional documentation received to either confirm or deny whatever is being told by the client. And then later on in the court report, I noted that it was reported by the client in the psychological evaluation that the children were removed due to a violation of the safety plan. The kids weren't allowed near Tom, but there was no mention of the repeated failed drug screenings or positive screenings for cocaine.
Okay. So how would you rate substance abuse with these positive tests for cocaine for mom?
So I'm not a scientist, but the first several from I've got copies of, I think I sent everybody copies. I sent Larry Brown copies too. I'm not sure why he didn't get them, but I can resend them. If you look at the confirmed cutoff, obviously it's still present in her system, but if you look at it, it's very minimal. There is only one that I can see that had a significantly high amount in her system. And if you look at the court report, there was a time period where she went no contact. She does suffer from diagnosed severe depression, and has expressed that during those depressive episodes, she self-isolates. That seems to, that high level seems to be around that same time. But all of that is to say that these other positive screenings are just barely over the cutoff, the confirmed cutoff, most of them.
Well, they still count, right?
Right, yes, they do.
They're still positive. So your report says that that Teresa's psychological evaluation noted she self-reported that her first and last use of cocaine was approximately 1 year ago. Has she made the same statements to you?
No, she has not said that to me. I'm not sure that I have directly asked her when the last time she had taken any, because she knows whenever I get the results back, I sit her down and show them to her. So asking her directly when the last time she used, when we're looking at a positive result, seems kind of redundant.
Okay. Parenting skills, it says that though improving, has shown some inconsistency. Can you tell us about that?
So in the beginning, there was some inconsistency because before her last court date, which I did not testify. I observed, but I was brand new to it then. She missed quite a few of them. She would call and say she was sick or she had car problems. That has improved significantly. This reporting period, she has only missed one parenting visit, and that was during that depressive episode. Something else I noted in there, I included her completed parenting courses that she has done, quite a few of them. And I have noticed, and other staff members as well, that she has been utilizing certain things that she has learned from those classes that is blatantly obvious that she didn't come up with on her own. It's certain techniques and stuff like that that was something that she learned through those. And I would discuss about it later. I would say that was a really good approach to that. You know, how did you think of that? And she said, oh, well, I finished this class and I learned it through there.
Okay, so you're testifying that she's showing some benefit from the classes, the Bright Course parenting class.
Yes, I have seen a benefit and change in her parenting visits. Yes. And part of that is due to the completion of a lot of those courses.
So when you say that you witnessed these changes, these positive changes, is this you observing parenting time between Teresa and Storm and John?
Yes, they are supervised. Typically, they're supervised here at our office. However, the children were recently placed into separate accommodations. So we have had to move that to a community setting, which is in Grayling now. And we have either been going to the playground behind the elementary school that they used to attend or the library. But either way, I am present or I am present via camera if it's in office.
Okay, and your report indicates that mom has a suitable apartment and employment at Walmart.
To answer the first question, I did a home visit yesterday. She just moved into a new apartment in Mansalona. She did express that her intention of moving that far out of it to get out of the county was to further separate herself from her domestically violent ex, so that he wouldn't be able to find her and she could be in a different county. So she did get that apartment. I did go see it. It is clean. It is suitable. Each child would have their own bedroom. She has beds for them available. Obviously, it's still being moved into. She has a lot of boxes and stuff, but it is an adequate home. And then, I'm sorry, what was the second question you asked?
It had to do with employment at Walmart.
She still does that. It's for Spark. I believe it's like an app that you can order, your deliveries from Walmart to be delivered to your home. However, as of, I believe it was yesterday, she had an interview with a factory position and was offered the job. So she will be beginning that, I believe she said, on the 28th.
Okay, so we're still early on in this case, but other than the substance abuse issue with the positive for cocaine, there is some progress being made in the other need domains.
That's correct. The only other concern really that I have is the difficulty in proving that communication has completely ceased with Tom. There have been instances that have been reported that have also been included with photos of her vehicle outside of his house. I did call the Otsego County Sheriff's Office to find out if that PPO had been dropped or if it was still in place, and it is still in place. Now, when I asked Teresa about it, she did tell me, and it did align with the dates of her move, that she had to get some of her remaining items out of his house. But for safety reasons, she did bring a couple of friends with her as witnesses in case there was anything to happen.
Okay.
That's what I was told.
Describe how the Miss Lauber is improving at parenting time with the children. What have you seen that was once, what have you seen that has gotten better?
The first one that comes to mind, John is the 8-year-old boy. He has recently begun having extreme behavioral issues at school, at home, in public, to the point where I actually pulled a 20-hour shift and stayed overnight on a psych hold with him after an episode. And she obviously is concerned because these behaviors had only begun within the past 3 months or so. We can't quite determine what the trigger was. It used to be the sibling, the sister, that was the more violent and the more aggressive. Something changed somewhere along the line, and I observed her very in a very nurturing manner, speaking to him very, separate, so that he had privacy from Storm. Storm was doing something on her own at the moment. They were playing outside, and she had learned how to get, I don't know what the parenting class was called. She did tell me where she learned it from. Basically reestablishing trust and how to speak to a child in the correct manner in order to get them to trust you and begin telling you how they feel and being able to address certain issues, for instance, like those new behavioral issues. And so when he said he didn't want to talk about it, instead of forcing the issue, she said, "That's okay, I understand. But I hope that sometime soon we can have that conversation." And she handled it very, very well.
Okay. And now you said the children are separated, but they're both doing well in their placements, according to the report.
So far, so good. As we all know, there's always a honeymoon period in new placement. I just went to John's placement with the Morels. Was it the day before yesterday? And there was some new behaviors that I found out about. The honeymoon period seems to be towards its end. They're starting it's not as severe as what it was when he was living with his aunt, where I think he realized he had a lot more control over the household at his aunt's house than he does where he is now. But he has had a couple major explosive episodes since he's been there. But they were handled very appropriately, from what I was told by the caregivers, in a manner which he is starting to learn that behavior is unacceptable and there are consequences that will be followed through on. And he seems to be, at the moment, obviously he's not happy about it, but he seems to be adjusting. And he is very, very happy there. He really, really likes the both of them. He does very, very well with a positive male role model. And I think Eric is a very good influence on him, because the two of them share a lot of common interests, like mechanics and doing stuff in the garage and working on cars. And I mean, that's John's hobby. And that's what Eric does. So that is a very positive change for him. He's around a positive male role model and influence, whereas previously he was around a domestically violent one. So he's learning these new behaviors. Storm, I have not had any reports of any outbursts at all since she's been placed there.
Okay, and it says she's learning to play guitar.
I don't know if she's learning how to play guitar, but I know she had fun playing with it, like fiddling with it, when she was in respite there. And when we placed her there, Bonnie had put it in her room as kind of like a welcome gift. So I don't know if she's getting lessons or if she's just kind of making up her own songs, but she is enjoying it.
All right, so we're asking to continue the goal of reunification.
That's great.
we're asking mom to engage and benefit in the plan for reunification. I'll need a response from you. to see
I'm
if-
sorry, I couldn't hear the last part of that.
We're asking mom to continue to engage and benefit in the reunification plan,
Yes,
okay?
yes. And obviously, show benefit by negative drug screens consistently.
Okay, and then as far as parenting time, is the department asking for any modification or discretion to modify and potentially expand?
I believe we would like discretion, but we won't be using it anytime soon. It will still remain supervised.
All right, so you want the availability to expand, but we're not there yet right now.
Correct.
Is there anything else that you'd like to ask the court for or offer in the testimony?
I think you covered pretty much everything.
All right, well, thank you. Nothing further.
Mr. Brown,
I have no questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Delaney.
I also have no questions.
All right. I have none either. Mr. Sommerfeld, any additional witnesses or evidence?
No, Judge.
Mr. Brown, witnesses or evidence?
Your Honor.
Mr. Delaney.
I have none, Judge. I would indicate, as the court can see, that Eric and Katie are here, and I told them they would not be required to testify or make statements, but they could if the court wanted to ask them any questions about the child they have. Thank you.
Do the foster parents have anything that they wish me to be aware of at this point?
No, Your Honor, he's doing well.
Good.
He's definitely growing and learning and adjusting. We've only had him a short period of time, so there is that honeymoon period where he's getting used to us and we're getting used to him, but he's doing good. We really enjoy having him with us.
Well, thank you. Let me say thank you for your efforts and the time that it takes for that. I know that that is done out of a heart of love, and we appreciate all of the energy and efforts that you've made on behalf of this child. I hope things continue to improve and go well. So, but you have our thanks. All right. The court has reviewed all of the documentation and heard the testimony today. It does appear that mom is making some progress, and I want to say thank you to her for that. There is, however, some concerning behavior with the drug testing and the continued use. Mom, you just got to do better. We simply can't have you using. It's going to slow down any reunification efforts, and it's not with your children's best interest at heart that you're doing those things. So that has to stop. I am also, however, going to reorder another substance abuse assessment. The last one that was done was simply from mom's self-reporting, and it appears to me that it was not, to put it nicely, it was not accurate. I think she intentionally left out information about her use of cocaine and the amount and the timing of that. And so I want the substance abuse assessment to be accurate. So I'm going to require another one, and I would like MDHHS and/or Wellspring to submit documentation of her past history of use to the same substance abuse assessment process, so that they have an accurate assessment. Mom, you're going to need to give that assessment entirely accurately in the future, or there's going to be some contempt of court issues for you to address. In addition, the next order is that Wellspring will have the children remain in their care and in custody of DHHS and/or Wellspring. Supervised parenting time is to remain. I will give Wellspring the discretion in the future, or DHHS and Wellspring the discretion in the future to expand to unsupervised if necessary, but it doesn't appear to be necessary at the moment. I will also have the children remain in the current placements that they are with their separate and current licensed foster caregivers. And I'd like to have MDHHS and Wellspring express my thanks to each of the families there. The permanency goal will remain reunification. Parenting time will remain supervised, and Teresa, Storm, and John will all follow the recommendations of the parent agency treatment plan. Specifically, mom, as to emotional stability, you can't go lengthy periods of time without having contact with your kids. I understand that there may be some mental health issues that you have, but you've got to get some counseling, and you've got to keep Wellspring and DHHS involved in that process so they know where you're at. And your kids need to have contact with you for their own benefit and their own mental health purposes. Secondly, as to substance abuse, I've already said it. You can't keep using cocaine, and you have to do better on your testing. As to parenting time, I want you to continue to improve and benefit and engage in that. It sounds to me like you're making some progress there. Keep up the good work. And then finally, as to the domestic relations, now that you have the stuff, there should be no excuse at all for having any contact with Mr. Jones. There is a personal protection order in place, and I would caution you about any future contact with Mr. Jones, even if you think it might be for a good purpose, is going to be detrimental in getting your kids back. If you're going to be around him, your kids can't be around you, and that's not where we want to go with this case. So no contact means no contact, period, end of story. All right. Mr. Sommerfeld, anything else that you want to have contained in the court's order?
I have nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
Mr. Brown, anything else?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Delaney, any final things to go in the order?
No, the court's covered all the points.
All right, that will be the order of the court. Thank you all for your help today. We'll be in recess.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you.